Hi, I'm your host, Tony Privado, and I would like to welcome you to A Healer's Journey. So this is actually my first episode, and the first episode I wanted to go over spiritual awakening from trauma. That really is very significant to me because I feel like that's where my spiritual awakening actually occurred, and I feel like a lot of you may have experienced this as well. Now, whenever you have a spiritual awakening, from some type of trauma, it could be anything. It could be losing a loved one. It could be depression. It could be some type of life-threatening illness. Anything that has caused you trauma, and you notice that you're changing. You know what I mean? You're hearing voices. Your intuition. Your voice of intuition is louder. You're getting signs, you're getting messages. So that's kind of what I wanted to speak about today, just because I feel that's where my journey truly started when it comes to my just my path to being a healer. I feel like it's a journey, it's not a destiny. Now, before I go into my actual story of what personally happened to me, prior to 2014, I was always big on feeling people's energy. I always had like a sixth sense of reading people's intentions. But I wouldn't consider that spiritual at that point. I wasn't at that point yet. I've never been tied to a specific religion. I've always pretty much been non-denomination. I'm the type of person where you're like, hey, you want to go to church? I'm like, okay, cool. And I would always be open, to visiting people's place of worship because I was interested. But for some reason, none of the denominations ever stuck with me. I just feel like I just kind of fly in the wind when it comes to religion. My sign is a Sagittarius sun sign. So, that could be it too. But, maybe it's just a personal thing. So for my journey. So my father transitioned in 2014. And, it was the first person that was ever close to me that affected me with their passing. So, I was dealing with that. After his passing, which was pretty unexpected, I just went into trying to cope with grief and figuring it out, right? And one of the first things I did maybe a couple months after was I looked for a medium. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, if you've had someone pass away, it's natural for some people to seek a psychic medium. You might want to speak with your loved one. And what I ran across was, I couldn't really tell if the mediums that I were contacting was authentic. A lot of them, their prices were extremely expensive, and I feel like when you're in that moment of grief, you might get a little bit desperate and you might want to pay for services that may or may not be authentic. And I felt that, it's just not fair, right? It's just not fair to not be able to communicate with someone that has passed away. So after a few months, I just want to give you the details because I want you to see how my spiritual team came through and provided me with signs along the way of confirmation, and everything just worked out very beautifully. So I was looking for a medium for a couple of months. I actually booked a consultation with someone. I was going to have my reading that week with the gentleman. I think he was charging me maybe anywhere between $300 to $400. So that week, before my consultation, one of my coworkers had actually told me about a medium. She was like, hey, I have a really close friend of mine. She's a medium. I think that you would really like her. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I went ahead and contacted her. I ended up canceling with the original medium, and I went to Kat. Her name's Kat Burtson. You can look her up. She's amazing. And I was able to connect with my dad. She didn't know anything about me. She couldn't Google anything about me. And she was able to connect me with my dad. So I want to say this too. When it comes to your spiritual path, when it comes to your journey, to me, it's all based off of experience. My experience is going to be different than your experience. So it's never my intention to push my experience off on other people. I just want to share my experience, and I hope that it helps somebody out there. So like I said, when I met Kat, she was able to connect me with my dad. She was actually able to tell me that I have abilities. I have gifts. And it's like, as soon as she told me that, like, the world just opened up. It was quite an experience. I actually took a few classes with her. I caught on very quickly, learning how to connect with spirit, learning how to recognize the signs. And I actually joined Houston Paranormal Group, and it was a very safe place for different people, different backgrounds, to get together and talk about their experiences with the paranormal. You know, you had everyone from someone that was interested in orbs, someone that was interested in voodoo, someone that just had experience. Maybe they just had a bump in the night and they felt uncomfortable. Everybody had different experiences. Some people had gifts, some people had abilities and talents. And I think that if you are going down that route where you're looking for a medium, or you're looking for more answers for your spirituality, I think that looking up on like meetup.com, looking up in your area, in your community, I think is a really good way to go, because you can find these like-minded people and you can grow on your journey, whatever your journey is, to heal, to learn different things, whatever you're focused on that you want to learn more about. See if there's a community in your area. With Houston Paranormal Group, we also did investigations, which was quite interesting. We went to different places around Houston that are known to have paranormal activity, and it was quite an experience, because we would have a group of maybe around 10 to 15 people. Some people just came along the way to watch, and some of the people actually had gifts and abilities. And then there were some guys, and they had like their tech equipment. So everybody had their different mediums of connecting with spirit, which I thought was beautiful, because it's like, it's just honoring everyone's interests. So I really like how everyone was able to come together and have their own unique spiritual experience. So I really like that. So I really suggest, if you're looking to develop any certain gifts, or connect with your spiritual community, I think that that's the first avenue that I would go. So as I was developing my gifts and my abilities, I stumbled upon something called Reiki, and I was really, really interested in it, but I ran into the same roadblock as I did with mediumship. I noticed that the Reiki trainings to become a Reiki master were incredibly expensive, and I was like, well, this is something that I want to do. If this is something that I'm meant to do, then spirit will bring it into my life with ease. That's another thing, just really speaking things into existence. And within a couple of months, I actually ran across a website, and it was these two people, and they travel around the United States, and they provide Reiki healing, and they teach students to become Reiki masters. So they offer level 1, 2, and 3. And I was just amazed. I took Reiki level 1, 2, and 3. I became a Reiki master. I learned so much from that course that it was just mind-blowing. It was just really, really helpful. I could use Reiki in my day-to-day. That's how I was able to start my, incorporate Reiki into my business. And I just feel like Reiki was something that really added to my spiritual journey. So, so that was really helpful. So like I said, if you are looking for, to become a Reiki master or get Reiki training, try to look at community-based things. Kind of do your research and see what you can find. If you reach a roadblock, speak it into existence. Let them know, let the universe know, hey, I need something affordable. This is what I want to do. Send it to me. And typically, Spirit will send it to you. So I found on my journey different ways to cope with grief that kind of helped me. Along my journey was acknowledging my feelings, to make sure that I wasn't hiding my feelings or storing them away, just not being in the energy of what I was feeling. If I felt sad, then I would allow myself to feel sad, because I feel that if you bury it or you push it away, I feel like it's gonna come back, and the feeling's just it's gonna be worse. One thing that I like to tell my clients too when it comes to grief is, when you miss someone you love, it's ultimately a compliment that you miss them, so you will have your moments where, you miss them and you're sad. But I feel like if you can try to have more moments of missing them and showing gratitude and thinking about the good memories, it honors them as well, more in a positive light, because then it makes you feel good. And then them being on the other side, it makes them feel good as well. I also found that breathing exercises really, really worked. They really helped me feel very grounded, especially if I had any feelings of grief or feeling heavy, or if I needed to kind of reset my energy. Breathing exercises were very helpful. Another tip is yoga. There's a lot of free yoga tutorials and resources on YouTube if you don't want to go into actual studio. Working out is really good, being active, really, sweating, detoxing, releasing certain things. That's not only releasing sweat from your pores, but it's that energy too as well. Another thing that really helped me was spending time in nature. Going on walking trails, spending time in nature, just noticing how many bunnies am I gonna see, how many butterflies am I gonna see. Being in nature not only grounded me, but it increased my self-awareness of being present in the moment. Sometimes I feel like as humans, we're go, go, go. What's the next thing? What's the destination and not the journey? And I feel that along this path from 2014 till now, I really focus on the journey, the step by step, and I really appreciate those moments and those lessons opposed to in the past. I was just looking at the end result. Another thing that really helped me along my journey was journaling. I feel that journaling really, really helped me. It helped me check in with myself. It helped increase my self-awareness of how I felt, good days, bad days, dealing with grief. I also utilized journaling for law of attraction. I would speak things into existence. I would write them down. I would visualize them. And I just noticed a change in my attitude. I noticed a change in how I felt, in my energy. People would say wow, like you have a glow to you. And it was just, I just felt like my authentic self. I don't know how else to say it. I feel that as I move along my journey, I feel more at home in my body, if that makes sense. I just feel more comfortable with myself. I just feel more at home. So I hope that, me, explaining my journey really helps someone out there with, whatever you're going through, because it's life, it's about lessons, it's about ups and downs. And on my podcast, I want to talk about everything. I mean, I want to focus on If you guys have any questions on Reiki, on healing, on mediumship, I just became a plant mom, so I'll probably be talking about plants, plant care. But remember, we are all one. We are all connected, right? So I really want this to be a healer's journey, not only for me and my journey of healing, but your journey of healing. So let me know what you guys think of this podcast. If you would like to follow me on YouTube, I do have a YouTube channel, and it is LightAsAFeatherTarot. And the YouTube channel focuses on tarot readings. It focuses on self-care, messages from the universe, and things of that nature. So if you guys have any specific topics that you would like to focus on, then please send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are, because, we are all on this healer's journey. So I'm sending you guys love, sending you guys prosperity, and till next time.